Have you ever wondered how a billionaire could fall from grace into the abyss of crime? This is the enigma we are about to unravel, the curious case of Jeffrey Epstein. A man who, in the eyes of the world, had it all: wealth beyond comprehension, influential connections, and a lifestyle that most could only dream of. But beneath this glossy veneer, there lurked a dark underbelly, a tale of crime and exploitation that would shock the world. Our story begins with a young Epstein, bright, ambitious, and eager to make his mark on the world. He was a man of humble beginnings, but with a keen intellect and an insatiable appetite for success, he quickly ascended the ladder of wealth. His uncanny knack for finance and his ruthless business acumen propelled him into a world of unimaginable luxury. Yet his rapid rise to power and wealth wasn't without its shadows. As Epstein's wealth grew, so did his influence, and with it, an air of invincibility. He was a man who believed he was above the law, untouchable. But as we will come to see, no amount of money or power can shield one from the consequences of their actions. This is a story that goes beyond just one man. It's a story that exposes the rot within the structures of power and wealth, revealing a world where morality is often compromised for personal gain. It's a story that forces us to question, how far can one go in the pursuit of their desires before they cross the line of decency and humanity? Jeffrey Epstein's life is a paradox, a stark contrast between the allure of success and the darkness of criminality. A man who went from being a symbol of the American dream to a cautionary tale of unchecked power and moral decay. A man who, despite his wealth and status, couldn't escape the consequences of his actions. So buckle up as we dive deep into this tale of wealth, power, crime, and deception. Let's peel back the layers of this complex narrative and explore the life and crimes of one of the most infamous billionaires in history. This is the enigma of Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire turned criminal. From humble beginnings, Epstein amassed a fortune that still baffles many. Let's take a step back and journey through the early chapters of Epstein's life. Born in Brooklyn, New York to a working-class family, Epstein's story is far from a rags-to-riches fairy tale. He dropped out of college yet managed to land a teaching job at an elite private school in Manhattan. An interesting start, wouldn't you say? His career took a swift turn when he entered the world of finance. A job at Bear Stearns set him on a fast-paced course to wealth. Epstein was not just an ordinary financier, he was a master manipulator, a wizard in the labyrinth of high finance. His acumen and cunning propelled him to the top echelons of Wall Street. But Epstein was not content with just being a successful financier. He had a vision to create a financial empire of his own. He established J. Epstein & Company, a firm that catered exclusively to billionaires, a move that further entrenched his position in the world of the super-rich. His wealth wasn't just a testament to his financial prowess, it was a key that unlocked doors to the world's most powerful circles. His connections spanned continents and crossed industries, from Hollywood to Silicon Valley, from royal palaces to the corridors of the White House. Epstein was known to hobnob with presidents, prime ministers, and princes, further elevating his status and influence. Alongside his wealth and power, Epstein led a lifestyle that was nothing short of extravagant. Private jets, luxury homes in multiple countries, and an island of his own. He lived a life that most could only dream of. A life that was funded by his mysterious fortune, a fortune that many believe was not entirely legitimate. Epstein had it all: wealth, connections, power. Yet he chose a path of darkness. As we delve deeper into his life, we'll begin to unravel the chilling secrets that lay beneath the surface of Epstein's glittering facade. Stay tuned as we uncover Epstein's dark side in the next scene. Beneath the glitz and glamour, Epstein harbored a sinister secret. In the shadows of his opulent lifestyle, a horrifying narrative began to unfold. The first allegations against Epstein marked the beginning of a chilling saga that would shake the world to its core. The victims, brave souls who dared to stand against a titan, began to come forward. Their stories, laced with pain and trauma, painted a stark picture of Epstein's dark side. These weren't isolated incidents, but a meticulously orchestrated pattern of abuse. Young girls, often from vulnerable backgrounds, were drawn into Epstein's world with promises of wealth and opportunity. But behind the veil of benevolence, they were subjected to a nightmare they could never have anticipated. Epstein's crimes were not just shocking in their nature but also in their scale. This wasn't a single lapse in judgment, but a systematic exploitation of innocence. The gravity of Epstein's actions cannot be overstated. Each victim's tale was a testament to the extreme suffering they endured. Their lives, marred by Epstein's actions, became a struggle for justice, a battle against an oppressor who wielded his power with ruthless efficiency. As we delve deeper into Epstein's dark side, it's essential to remember the victims. These courageous individuals faced a Goliath in their quest for justice. Their fight was not just for themselves but for every voice silenced by the powerful. Epstein's world was a facade, a veneer of respectability that hid an insidious underbelly. As the allegations mounted, this carefully constructed image began to crumble. The billionaire, once admired for his success, was now under scrutiny for his most heinous actions. As these revelations came to light, Epstein's world started to unravel, laying bare the true nature of the man behind the mask. The philanthropist, the financier, the socialite, all these were mere roles played by Epstein to conceal his predatory behavior. Epstein's world was unraveling, revealing a man far removed from the image he projected. Epstein's house of cards began to crumble, and the fallout was immense. Like a grand spectacle of tragic drama, the billionaire's life took a sudden turn. From walking on red carpets to pacing in a prison cell, Jeffrey Epstein's fall from grace was a swift and shocking descent into infamy. In July 2019, Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges, and the high society circles he once graced were suddenly tainted with the stench of his illicit activities. The court proceedings were a spectacle, a high-stakes drama that had the world watching with bated breath. The testimonies were heart-wrenching, the evidence damning, and Epstein's fate seemed sealed. As the trial progressed, Epstein's ultimate demise came in a disturbingly abrupt fashion. His death in August 2019, ruled a suicide, added another layer of mystery to an already complex narrative, raising questions about the circumstances of his death and the potential involvement of powerful figures. But Epstein's downfall was more than just the end of one man's reign of terror. It was a societal earthquake that shook the foundations of our trust in the justice system. His case highlighted the glaring disparities in how justice is served, illuminating a system that often favors the wealthy and powerful over the vulnerable. Epstein's crimes also sparked a global conversation about sexual exploitation and the abuse of power. His victims, once silenced by fear and shame, found their voices, inspiring others to speak up and fight for justice. Their courage ignited a worldwide movement, a wave of change that continues to challenge societal norms and demand accountability from those in power. Even in death, Epstein's shadow looms large. Investigations continue, unearthing more evidence, more victims, and more questions about who else may have been involved in his sordid affairs. His legacy is one of deceit and destruction, a chilling reminder of the monsters that can hide behind a mask of wealth and influence. Epstein's downfall was as dramatic as his rise, leaving behind a trail of questions and a society grappling with the reality of his crimes. Epstein's death didn't put an end to the questions but rather amplified them. The sudden demise of Jeffrey Epstein left a vacuum, a void filled with unanswered questions, curious conjectures, and haunting mysteries that continue to echo in the corridors of justice and public discourse. Let's dive into the enigmatic pool of these lingering queries. Was Epstein's death a suicide as officially reported, or was there more to the story? Conspiracy theories abound, some suggesting foul play, others hinting at a cover-up. These theories, though unverified, continue to fuel public speculation, sparking debates that reach far beyond the confines of Epstein's cell. Then there's the question of Epstein's enablers. Who were they? How deep did this intricate web of complicity reach? The high-profile names in Epstein's infamous Black Book only add to the intrigue, casting long shadows over the case. How many of these glittering personalities were truly involved? And why has justice been so elusive? Perhaps the most haunting question of all pertains to the victims. What will become of their quest for justice? Their narratives, so long silenced, finally found an audience, only to be mired in the murkiness of Epstein's untimely death. Will their voices be drowned out in the cacophony of conspiracy theories, or will they be heard, loud and clear, echoing their demand for justice? These unanswered questions have a profound impact on our society. They challenge our faith in the justice system and force us to confront the uncomfortable truth about power and its potential for abuse. They remind us that the veneer of respectability can often hide a multitude of sins, and that even the most glittering lives can harbor dark secrets. In the end, Jeffrey Epstein's story serves as a stark reminder of the dark secrets that can lurk beneath the surface even in the most glittering of lives. And while the man himself may be gone, the questions he left behind remain, lingering long after his death. a chilling testament to his sinister legacy.